separate sa PNP. So this one is an example, the early example of attrition by relief po. Next, what attrition program was in effect when 3 senior police officers were relieved for their position after playing pool during work hours? Laro. Imbis na magtrabaho, naglaro. O, hindi naman siguro, masyadong palala yung kanilang ginawa. Pero kaya lang ang nangyari, hindi nila ginampanan ng kanilang, naglaro lang naman sila. Kaya lang, ano ang nasakripisyo? Yung kanilang trabaho. Siyempre, kapag working hours, magtrabaho po tayo. Kaya nagtatrabaho po tayo ngayon. Okay, that is example by attrition by relief. Ayan. Next. Ay, hindi ko na pwede isa-isa ulit dahil na isa-isa na natin kanina. Next, PNP attrition system was put into place under what law? So, ano ang batas regarding sa attrition system natin? Yes, that is under the PNP Reform and Reorganization Act of 1998, also known as the RA 8551. Next, a PNP member or officer within at least 5 years of cumulative active service can be separated under the attrition by other means on the basis of any criteria, following criteria except. So, ibig sabihin, hanapin natin ang tama. Kasi syempre, kaya ka nga nag-alis sa serbisyo kasi may hindi ka magandang ginawa. You have a poor performance. So, magiging sagot dito sa question will be positive. So, the answer is hello? Narinig ko ba? Hindi ba ako nawala? Parang wala akong nakikita nagre-react. Nawala po ba ako? Hello, hello. Nag-react na po kayo kung narinig pa po ako. Ayun. Heart. Ayan. So the answer for this question, syempre, letter C. If you're physically, mentally healthy, therefore, is kaya mo gawin or perform ang functions and duties mo. So, hindi yan magiging dahilan para ikaw po ay alisin sa serbisyo. So, discuss natin yung iba mamaya na. Next, any PNP employee, civilian or of uniform who is relieved of duty and assigned to a position that is lower than when is specified for that employee's grade in the PNP staffing pattern and who is not assigned to a position commensurate with that employee's grade within blank of that demotion and position shall be retired or separated. So ito ay example na attrition by demotion in position or rank. So, dapat ikaw po ay mai-reassign ng ilang months. Within ilang months, that is 18 months. So, kailangan within 18 months, ikaw po ay re-assign. Therefore, ikaw po, pag hindi ka po na-reassign, ikaw po ay pwedeng ma-separate sa PNP service. Next, any PNP personnel who have not been received promotion for a continuous blank period shall have to retire or separated in the PNP. So, this one naman is the example or ito ang direct definition po ng attrition by non-promotion. So yes, the answer is 10 years. So tandaan niyo po yung mga numbers. Pag attrition by relief within 2 years. Pag attrition by demotion or position or rank within 8 months. Kapag attrition by non-promotion within 10 years. So dito tayo, attrition by attainment of maximum tenure in position, binanggit na natin kanina yan. Kapag ikaw po ay natapos mo na yung tenure mo. So regional directors is 6 years, provincial director 9 years, chief of PNP 4 years, deputy chief 4 years, director of staff services 4 years. Sabi nga, if ever man na hindi ka na-reassigned for another position, tuloy ka pong ma-retire. Pero halimbawa nga yung kanina, si chief, deputy chief at naiangat siya sa chief of the PNP, ay hindi pa rin po siya maaalis sa service. As long as hindi po nila na-reach ang kanilang years of yung age of years po nila. So kung hindi pa sila 56, pwede pa rin sila sa serbisyo as long as sila ay napo-promote. Next, attrition by relief. If ever man ikaw may ginawa na hindi maganda. So within 2 years kapag ikaw hindi na reassign, so pwede ka hindi ka binigyan ng new assignment, ikaw ay ma-retire or separate from the service. Nandito tayo sa last kanina. Attrition by other means. A PNP member may be removed or separated from the service if any of the following happens. Poor performers, 4 months for 2 consecutive years. So according to my research is every year, I think nagkakandak po na inspection and performance evaluation po ang NAPOLCOM sa mga PNP members po nila. So if ever man na kapag sinabi po kasi natin consecutive years is ikaw po ay nagkaroon ng rating na unsatisfactory ng 2023, ganun ulit ng 2024. Kapag naman cumulative, ganito yan. No 2022, unsatisfactory ka. 2023, naging satisfactory ka. Noong 2024, naging unsatisfactory ka. Naging 2025 ka, naging satisfactory ka. Naging 2026, unsatisfactory. So kung makikita nyo, may pagitan, pero dahil na madaming years ka na ikaw ay per performance or 3 years, ikaw pa rin po ay aalis sa serbisyo. Siyempre, kapag hindi ka na physically or mentally okay, fair to pass entrance exams twice, and fair to finish required training or career courses. Siyempre, meron pong training po na kinakandak para ikaw ngayon ma-promote. So, pag hindi mo nagawa yun, ikaw ay possible na maalis sa serbisyo. Next, police officers decide to leave the service after completing 22 years of satisfactory active service, even if he's not yet reached the compulsory retirement age. What kind of retirement is applied in case? Meron lang naman tayo 2 kinds of retirement. We have the compulsory and optional retirement. Sa compulsory retirement, ang pinag-uusapan dito is the age of the officer. Ano ang compulsory age ng compulsory retirement? That is 56 years of age. Sa optional retirement naman po, ang pinag-uusapan po dito is the years of service. So, kapag naka 20 years ka na sa servisyo, ay pwede ka na po mag-retire. Therefore, dito sa pamimilian 22 years, so that is optional retirement. So, Allah. What is the age of required for compulsory retirement again? Woohoo! Ay, Okay, the year required for compulsory, alagay niyo kanina is 56. Yeah. Minimum years of service in the PNP in order to be granted for optional retirement. Yan, pag optional retirement, ang pinag-uusapan years of service. Kapag compulsory age of the personnel, that is 20 years. Next. Okay na, dito na po tayo sa reklamo. Reklamo. Ba, reklamo. A police officer was found guilty of an offense punishable by suspension for 25 days, which disciplinary authority has the power to impose the penalty. So, meron po tayong tatlong administrative disciplinary machinery. We have the chief of police, we have the city or municipal mayor, and we have the People's Law Enforcement Board. So, alisin na natin sa National Police Commission. So, the answer is, sabi nga, suspension. So, pag ikaw po ay ilang days na mawawala muna without pay sa iyong post. That is city or municipal mayor. Ngayon, kay chief of police po ba, ilang days? Kapag not exceed na 15 days, meaning say 15, 14, 13, so on so forth. So basta hindi nag-exceed sa 15 days, that is for chief of police. Next, kay People's Law Enforcement Board naman po, or PLEB, ay ilang days? Not exceeds with the 30 days. Or kaya naman for dismissal. Kapag may for dismissal na, syempre doon na tayo kay PLEB. Ayan. Si Chief of Police, Mayors of the City of Municipality, People's Law Enforcement Board. Aside from doon sa mga days, not exceeding 30 hanggang kay 30 days, mayors of the city or municipality. Kapag existed na po sa 30 days, kay PLEB na po. Ngayon, ano po yung mga kinds of offenses nila? Dito, kay Chief of Police is minor offenses. Diba? Immediate supervision and discipline po ito sa mga PNP members. Halimbawa, pwede sila mag-issue ng mga warnings, mag-issue ng reprimands, or correction dun sa actions ng isang PNP officer. Next, dito tayo sa mayors of city or municipality. Aside from that, less than 16 days, but not exceeding 30 days. So dito, si mayor po ang local chief executive disciplinary authority natin. Kung kanina, minor offense kay chief of police, kay mayors of cities or municipalities ay nandun na po ang less serious to moderate administrative cases. Administrative cases lang po ito ha, hindi na po hindi criminal cases. Next, we have the Law Enforcement Board, that is a civilian. Civilian po ang members po dito. Civilian disciplinary body po ito. It handles po nila yung mga most serious administrative cases. Ano pa? People Law Enforcement Board, sila po ang entity na kung saan sila ang nagre-receive ng mga citizens complaints. That is People's Law Enforcement Board. Next, a police officer committed frequently absences and gambling prohibited by law. The regional director imposed a 45-day suspension and demotion. What is the correct evaluation of the decision? Tama lang po ba na si regional director mag-i-impose na tinatawag nating 45-day suspension? Next na tayo sa sa internal discipline na tayo. Nasusundan niyo po ako. Nasa internal discipline na po tayo. Okay, meron po tayong chief of police. Again, for a period na exceeding 15 days. Minor offenses lang po yun. Next, we have provincial directors. Dito, moderate offenses. Siyempre, within the province, ang pag-enforce po niya ng disciplinary actions. Next, we have the police regional director. So, more serious administrative cases na po ito. At syempre, ang kanilang i-handle ay entire region. Next is the highest authority natin, disciplinary authority, will be the chief of the PNP. So ngayon, kapag po ba naging po sa 45 suspension motion, kay regional director po ba yan? The answer is yes. The decision is correct because regional directors may impose up to 60 days and include demotion. So ayan. Pag 15 days kay chief of police, pag not exceed 30 days kay provincial directors, total of period shall not exceed 60 days kay police regional directors, and syempre, not exceeding 180 days kay chief of the PNP. So aside from that, minor offense kay chief of police, moderate offenses kay provincial directors or equivalent supervisors. Sa serious offense, we have the police regional directors. Next, dito na tayo kay IAS. Sino ba si IAS? If an IAS investigation reveals that PNP officer committed misconduct, what should the IAS do? A, B, C, or D. Commanded immediate promotion to encourage reform. Ignore the case if no complaint was filed by a civilian. File appropriate criminal cases before the proper court and transfer the case directly to the PNP chief. May ginawa kang hindi maganda, ipopromote mo. Kahit na sabihin natin na meron complaint na civilian na hindi mo napapansinin. So, sino po ba ang si IAS? So, IAS means the Internal Affairs Services, tama? It is an internal unit sa PNP na kung saan it investigate po the complaints and monitor the police conduct. So yung mga complaints ng mga PNP, ng mga civilians sa kanila, so they are investigating that. So that answer is letter C. Next, the Internal Affairs Service strengthens the PNP organization by primarily by blank. So para saan nga si IAS? So huwag po natin kakalimutan na ang head po ng IAS ay ang Inspector General na kung saan that Inspector General is a civilian and appointed by the President upon the recommendation, syempre, ng Director General or the Chief of the PNP or Police General. Okay, the answer for this question, Internal Service Affairs strengthen the PNP organization by primarily, syempre, para maging accountable po ang mga members ng PNP sa kanilang mga actions. Para syempre, hindi sila basta-basta gagawa ng hindi maganda kung hindi may isaalang-alang ang kanilang trabaho. Next, what kind of cases does the AIS automatically investigate? So, meron silang tinatawag na motopropyo. Ayan, motopropyo or automatic investigation. So, kailan po pwedeng mag-investigate ang Internal Affairs Service automatically? So, incidents involving police salary dispute, issues related to promotion delays, cases of traffic violations committed by police, incidents involving discharge of firearms or human rights violation. So the answer is letter D. So ito po yun. When a police officer fires a gun ng, ng hindi naman kinakailangan, tapos during the time na sila po ay nagkakandak ng police operation ay meron pong namatay, meron po na seriously na injured, or there is a human rights violation. Next, yung mga evidence na hawak po nila ay nawala, na-altered, or nasira because syempre hindi mo na magagamit yung mga evidence na yun. Ngayon, iimbestigahan nila kung talaga bang meron po kayong kasalanan kung bakit po na-destroy, na-altered, o kaya naman nawala ang ebidensya. Next, yung mga suspect under the custody, baka mamaya ay wala naman dating bali, pilay, tapos nagkaroon ng bali at pilay. And that is the case wherein the IAS has an automatic na kung saan sila ay magkakaroon ng automatic investigation. Lalo na't ito po ay tinuturing po nating serious incident. So even without complaints, walang reklamo pero kailangan po nila 'tong imbestigahan. Next, a officer or police officer was dismissed by regional director and wishes to appeal. To whom should should the appeal file? So meron po tayong regional appellate board and we have national appellate board. So meron lang po tayong dalawang pwedeng pagpailan ng appeal. So if ever man po nag-decide si Chief of Police na ikaw po ay madedemote, sa ganun din sa pleb, sinabi na ikaw ay madedemote. So pero again, kapag ikaw po ay pinatawad ng ano lang, ng suspension, ikaw ay pansamantalang hindi papasahurin, yun po ay hindi po pwedeng i-appeal. Ano lang po ang pwedeng i-appeal natin? Ay, nila pala, sorry, hindi tayo. Pwede lang po nilang i-appeal is yung dismissal and yung demotion. Ayan, pag na-demote sila, pag na-dismiss sila sa service, yun lang ang pwede nilang i-appeal. Ngayon, ang sabi dito, kanino pong decision ang pwede pong i-appeal ay yung decision ni regional director saan pwedeng i-appeal, that is for regional appellate board. Chief of Police tsaka si pleb, ganun din, regional appellate board. Pero kapag decision ni Chief of PNP, sa National Appellate Board po yan. Next, an appeal must be filed to the regional appellate board within how many days from the receipt of the decision. So napag-desisyonan na siya po ay madi-dismiss or made-demote. So ngayon, ilang days ka pwedeng mag-appeal. At kailangan mo mag-appeal. If ever man na hindi ka nag-appeal, within how many days, ito po ay magiging void. So hindi ka na mawi-waive na yung right mo to appeal. So kapag di ka nag-appeal within how many days? If you will not appeal for 10 days. So after 10 days, kahit mag-appeal ka, ay wala na din. So next, what happens if the regional appellate board fails to act on appeal within 60 days? Si A, nakapag-appeal naman within 10 days. Ngayon, siyempre, trabaho po ng regional appellate board na mag-conduct ng investigation, i-review po nila yung case ng isang police officer kung talaga po bang at kasama din po within the 60 days yung decision. So what happens if the regional appellate board fails to act an appeal? So no. So the decision of the regional appellate board becomes final and executory. So wala ka na magagawa, yun na yung decision, yun na ang i-execute. So NAB and RIAB are the cases may shall be decided within appeals 60 days from the receipt of the notice of appeal. The failure of the regional appellate board to act on the appeal within set period shall render the decision final and executory. So yung pinag-decision sa kanya nung una, final na po yun kasi hindi naman po na-review. Diba? So parang may downside siya. Ano? Next, After investigating a warehouse warehouse fire, BFP investigators discover evidence of intentional arson. According to its mandate, what action may the Bureau of Fire Protection properly take? So dito na tayo kay BFP. BFP. So si BFP again, that is under the DILG or the Department of Interior and Local Government together with the BJMP. But si PNP po ay under po ng NAPOL ko. So BFP also created by RA 6975. So ano po ang mangyayari if they found or discovered evidence na meron po talagang intention arson or sadyang pagsunog? So the answer is endorse the case to the city or provincial prosecutor for filing of appropriate complaints. So ano po ba ang trabaho ni BFP? So tandaan nyo, syempre ang trabaho ni BFP is to investigate if ever man na meron pong tawag dito, reason na itong pagkaroon ng apoy o pagsunog ay intentional. So ano pa? They are responsible for prevention and suppression of all kinds of destructive fires. Prevention kasi pwede sila mag-conduct ng mga seminars sa mga schools para mag-provide ng knowledge on how to prevent na magkaroon ng sunog. Next, responsible also to enforce the fire code of the Philippines. Again, they have the power to investigate all the causes of fires if necessary. Siyempre, during the time of emergency, ano ang trabaho ng PFP? Isa din po sila sa nagkakandak ng search and rescue operations. Kapag sila po ay sinabihan ng presidente na tulungan ang AFP regarding sa national emergency. And the last is they must establish at least one fire station na mayroong adequate personnel sa each provincial, city, and municipality. Next, what law is enforced by the Bureau of Fire Protection concerning the fire safety regulation in the country? RA 9165, 9344, RA 4136, RA 9514. RA 165, ito ay sa PDEA. 9344 ay sa Juvenile Justice. Tama to, Juvenile Justice Welfare. And 4136 is sa land transportation. So the answer is letter D, the RA 9514. That is the a local fire department conducts regular fire inspections in the establishment. This function shall falls under what? Siyempre, ang pag-aapula ng apoy, suppression, that is fire suppression kasi nga nasusunog na, so kailangan apulahin. Disaster management because during the time, they are also the one who prepares para po if ever may bagyo, is pwede sila magkaroon sila ng sapat na paghahanda sa pagkakandak ng research and rescue operations, special operations. So the answer is fire safety. Diba, kailangan nila mag-i-inspect lahat ng mga buildings kung meron po bang sapat na fire extinguisher, meron po ba tawag dito, fire exit, yeah. So the head of the BFP is the chief of BFP, so attested by administration and operation. Siyempre may chief of directorial staff din, so kagaya din yan na PNP. Yeah. Next, dito tayo sa BJMP. A city jail conducted livelihood training and counseling programs for inmates to prepare them for their return to the society. Which function of the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology is shown? Last ano lang tayo? BFP, BJMP, PDEA, PCG, and NBI. Konti na lang. Lapit na tayo matapos. Okay, so ano po ba ang trabaho ng BJMP? So una, sila ang nag-create ng mga guidelines, policies, kung saan ano po ba yung plano nila on how they are going to achieve their goals and objectives. Kasi nga po, sila po ang nag-administer sa lahat ng district, city, and municipal jails nationwide. Sila din po ang nag-implement ng some security measures for the control of the PDL sa loob and provide the basic needs of the PDL, yung food, yung clothes, yung mga pangangailangan para sa paglilinis ng katawan, ayan, or hygiene, ayan, tama yun. Next, improve jail facilities, and syempre, promote the general welfare and development of personnel. Kaya nga po sila din po ang isa sa nag-i-implement ng mga programs or rehabilitation programs sa loob ng BJ sa mga loob ng mga jails. Ayan, meron pong recreational programs, yung sa weaving, ano ba yun? Livelihood programs. Ayan. So like this one is letter C. So isa yan sa PDL development. Next, jail officers increase security checks and monitor inside the jail to prevent escape and maintain order. What BJMP function is being applied? So yes, isa yung po sa trabaho ng BJMP na kailangan ma-secure nila na ang mga nakakulong doon ay hindi po basta-basta makakatakas. And syempre, kahit na nakakulong na sila, dapat hindi sila magawa na hindi maganda sa loob. So that is an example of security control. Next, PDEA na tayo. PDEA, ang mga kinakatakutan ng iba. The PDEA was created under which law? 1675 is the DILG Act. Republic Act 8551 is the PNP Reform and Reorganization Act of 1998. Republic Act number 9165 is the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act. And RA 1944 is the Juvenile Justice Welfare Act. So the answer is letter C. So ito yung batas na nag-create po sa Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency po. So si Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, siya po ang implementation arm. Diba? Yung batas, yung policies na nakikreate ng DDB or the Dangerous Drugs Board, sila po ang nag-i-implement ang PDEA. Kapag ang pinag-uusapan natin regarding sa policies, creating policies, that is DDB or the Dangerous Drugs Board. Next, a police team confiscate illegal drugs during an operation. Who is responsible for the custody and destruction of the evidence? Destruction, sirain, hindi gamitin, hindi benta. So later, di-discuss po natin ano po ba yung functions ng PDEA. PDEA. Okay, the answer is yes, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. Next, a suspected shabu laboratory is discovered in warehouse. The PDEA leads the interagency raid to seize illegal drugs and arrest suspects. Which PDEA power is applied? Trabaho po ba ng PDEA to enforce the fire safety laws natin? Trabaho po ba ni PDEA mag-investigate ng cybercrime violations? Trabaho po ba ni PDEA na lead ng mga anti-drug operations? Or trabaho po ba ni PDEA mag-supervise ng jail facilities for drug offenders? Siyempre, enforcing fire safety laws, that is BFP. Investigating cybercrime violations, that is NBI. Leading anti-drug operations, yes, that is for PDEA. And the last, we have the BJMP. Next, functions of PDEA. Una, enforces anti-drug laws natin na kung saan ang trabaho po ng PDEA, syempre are sa violators of RA 9165. So yung mga nagbebenta, merong tawag dito, merong possession ng mga illegal drugs. They are the one who also conduct raids sa mga lugar kung saan possible yun ang laboratories, may lugar kung saan tawag dito, nakaimbak ang mga illegal drugs. Siyempre, trabaho din nila is kumpiskahin ang mga illegal drugs. Kumpiskahin, sirain, hindi gamitin. Next, manage confiscated drugs and evidence. So sila po ang may temporary na custody ng mga na-seize na drugs or mga nakuha ng drugs. Para siyempre gamitin po ito as evidence para po makonvict kung sino man po yung nag-violate ng RA 9165. And next is files criminal cases against the offender. Yes, trabaho rin po ni PDEA to file a case against the suspects. Leads drug prevention campaigns. Ayan. Isa po sa PDEA po sa nag-educate sa mga tao dito sa Pilipinas na kung saan kakandak sila ng mga seminars para ma-inform ng public sa kung ano ang pwedeng maging resulta if ever man gumagamit ng mga illegal drugs. Next, coordinates with local and international agencies. So alam naman natin ang pagbebenta ng illegal drugs ay hindi lang po yan dito sa Pilipinas. So yan po ay international, mga cartel tayo tinatawag, di ba? So ang pakikipag-operate internationally can help syempre to easily na mahuli yung mga nagva-violate ng RA 9165. Next. Dito tayo. Marisol is working at project to minimize the loss of lives and properties at seas. Which function of the PCG would she most likely to be involved? So nandiyan na si Marlene, Marcet, Marsal, Marsak, Marek. Okay, Marcel was doing a project to minimize the loss of the lives and properties at the sea. The function is kay Marsek po ba? Marsa, Marlin, or kay Marek? Sa tayo. Okay, that is kay Marcel. Okay, ano po ang trabaho ng maritime safety? So they are the one who enforces the law in maritime navigation na kung saan niya, di ba, bago po lumayag ang mga pampasaherong mga bangka po ay ni-inspect po ang mismong vessel. Baka mamaya meron pong hindi magandang natamo na damage ang vessels. Baka ito pa yung maging cause ng pagpasok ng tubig sa vessels. Kung may sapat po bang rescue boat, may sapat na life jackets. Ayan, so yun po yung trabaho sa maritime safety. They are going to inspect muna lahat ng mga vessels bago po maglayag. That is for maritime safety. Next, maritime security or kay MARSEC. So anong trabaho niyan? Kaya kung makikita niyo po na bago po mag-board ang lahat ng mga pasahero ng mga bangka na yan, may mga security personnel po na magkakandak ng inspection sa lahat ng mga bagahe ng mga magiging pasahero. So next is sa security din, nandiyan po din magkakandak sila ng patrolling, boarding, and inspection na kung saan para makita nila, if ever man nagkaroon ng information na merong takas, di ba? Pwede nilang malaman kung if ever mag-board po siya sa vessels or hindi. Next, maritime law enforcement. So, syempre, pag i-implement po ng laws within the Philippine waters, for example, yan sa illegal fishing and poaching, sa human trafficking, sa illegal drugs and smuggling natin, sa customs, and sa immigrations. Next, si Marine Environmental Protection. So, isa din po sa trabaho po ng PCG is to prevent and control yung mga marine pollutions, yung mga oils coming from the ships, yung mga hazardous substances. Kaya po sila ay nakikipag-coordinate po sa DNR, specifically sa Marina. Next, Marites is involved in implementing laws related to human trafficking and dangerous drugs within the maritime jurisdiction. So, alin po dito ang nag-i-implement ng regarding sa laws in human trafficking? And yes, that is for maritime law enforcement. Next, a foreign syndicate recruits women in Manila and transport them through NAIA to another country for forced labor. Which jurisdictions allows the NBI to investigate case?
Kaya yung dalawa kasi namatay, wala sa sudan eh. Nagaling pa ng
Okay, so cases involving anti-dummy laws kasi nga hindi naman po pwedeng magkaroon ng ari-arian ang mga foreigners dito sa Pilipinas. Baka po sila nagkaroon sila ng mga fake names, fake identifications para po sila maka-obtain ng properties dito sa Pilipinas. At isa sa mga mag-iimbestigador, syempre, ang NBI. So the answer for this one is letter B, human trafficking cases in all airports in Philippines. So, alam niyo naman, madalas po, na ang nangyayari is, sa human trafficking, nag-a-abduct sila ng mga persons, nanloloko sila ng mga tao para lang makuha yung loob, pagtrabahuin sa ibang bansa, di ba? Ibenta mismo. Next cases referred for the Interagency Underground Coordinating Council. The last, trabaho din po ni NBI na i-identify yung mga victims ng mass fidelity incidents, lalo na po kapag wala pong mga identifications na mga IDs or hindi nila ma-identify kung sino man yung mga persons na nila namatay. Baka kasi yung iba doon nabubulok na, wala ng facial recognitions. Ayan, trabaho po ni NBI po. Ayan. Next, if the NBI were assigned to investigate of cases of human trafficking that involve a foreign syndicate, how would it apply in jurisdiction under 10867? So, syempre, human trafficking, hindi naman yan stay lang dito sa Pilipinas. Pwede po yan nakapaglakbay na papunta sa ibang bansa. And syempre, meron po dito involved na mga foreign syndicates sa human trafficking. So, paano po natin i-apply ang ating jurisdiction regarding sa cases according to 10867? So, the NBI would use international networks, share intelligence with foreign laws enforcement, and track the operation across the borders. The NBI would focus on the internal traffic elements and ignore any international connections. NBI would leave the international aspect to other agencies and only focus on the local operations. And next, the NBI would handle the case without contacting any foreign agencies or requiring international collaboration. So, syempre, that is letter A. So, dito tayo. Functions of the NBI. So, under 10867. Una, NBI has several powers and duties to effectively investigate and solve crimes. So, investigate and detect crimes listed at this mandate, yung kagaya ng kanina, yung pag-handle po ng human trafficking, sa anti-dummy law, so sa mga white-collar crimes, so isa po yun sa mga trabaho po ni NBI to investigate. So, issue subpoenas po sa mga tao na kailangan po magpakita sa korte para mag-present ng or kaya mag-present ng document. Serve as the National Criminal Record Hub. So, kaya nga po kapag kayo kumukuha ng NBI clearance, so nandun nakalagay yung mga records natin kung tayo po ba ay may criminal record or wala. So, provide the technical support to the government agencies when requested. If ever man nagkakandak po ng investigation ang PNP and kailangan po ng support ng NBI, ay dapat po nila 'tong gawin kasi it is their function. Next, assist in extradition and international legal cooperation through Department of Justice. Alam niyo naman, the extradition, yan yung, 'di ba, if ever may fugitive or merong takas sa ibang bansa na pumunta dito sa Pilipinas para magkaroon ng pansamantalang kanlungan, 'di ba? Dito sila pansamantalang nag-stay para hindi lang sila mahuli sa kanilang bansa. If meron ngang extradition o merong agreement yung mga bansa na yun is meron tayong extradition power. So therefore, NBI will assist in an extradition. Next, operate the NBI Academy. Yes, we have the NBI Academy na kung saan if you want to be an NBI agent, so pwede po kayong mag-train and develop your skills in that academy. So maintain a forensic and scientific research center for evidence hunting laboratory work. So dito tayo sa NBI jurisdictions. Ito po yung mga cases na kung saan meron pong jurisdiction po ang NBI to investigate. Una, human trafficking, extrajudicial killings ng mga security forces and yung mga media practitioners, yung mga reporters na yan, anchors, murders of justices and justice natin. So sila din po ang isa sa mga nag-investigate ng mga cybercrimes, halimbawa yung phishing, yung pang-hack, pang-crack, ayan, anti-graft and corruption cases. So yung sa mga public officials natin na ginamit po yung mga public funds para sa kanilang personal na interest. Violation of the anti-dummy law wherein baka, yung mga foreigners ang usually dito, foreigners na gumagamit po sila ng mga fake identities to obtain obtain ng mga ari-arian dito sa Pilipinas kasi siyempre Pilipinas ay para sa Filipinos and therefore ang may-ari lang ng Pilipinas must be Filipino. Crimes against top national officials natin pag nagkaroon po ng threats sa presidents natin, vice president, senate president, speaker, or chief of justice. Siyempre, sila din po ang nag-investigate ng mga transnational crimes. Ano ba yung mga example ng transnational crimes? Human trafficking. Human trafficking is example of transnational crimes. Di ba ang transnational crimes, those crimes that across the borders, na kahit sabihin natin ito ay nakomit sa ibang bansa, tapos naapektuhan yung mga bansa na kalapit. So drug trafficking, human trafficking, yung cybercrime, yung sa smuggling ng mga firearms or mga illegal goods, yung terrorism, yan, lahat. Money laundering, yan ang example ng mga transnational crimes na merong jurisdiction ang NBI to investigate. And the last, investigation of victims in mass disaster, lalo na kapag nagkaroon po ng calamities, yung mga bangkay, nabubulok na, wala na pong, hindi ma-identify kaagad. So, ang mag-identify ng mga yun, kung ano ang kanilang pagkakakilanlan, will be the NBI. So, that is the end of our session. So I hope na meron po kayong na-recall, natandaan sa ating mga discussions. So good luck po sa lahat na mag-e-exam. I think exam nyo na tama? Mag-e-exam na kayo. So I hope po lahat po ay makapasa sa inyong exam, sa darating na exam. So kung meron po kayong tanong, ewan ko na lang kung magkikita tayo. Pero you can directly message nyo naman to help regarding to this subject. Baka meron po akong